Wow. So pretty. Wow, imagine if that was your gym. Good morning. I'm sitting here in front of a beautiful warm fireplace, ready to tell you about our second day in London. I'll put the link below for my last video about why we're here in the UK and our trip to and from London, to London. But in this video we go to a bunch of tourist destinations, and most of which we stumbled upon as we're just walking around London. The good thing about London is that when you're just walking around, you realize a lot of the tourist destinations, they're all in a similar location and they're all quite close to each other, which is really great when you're traveling and you don't have that much time but you want to see a lot of the tourist destinations. Day 2 for us was Friday, January 25th, and it had been forecast to be a pretty nice day. The sun was supposed to be out and it was supposed to get up to a massive 10 degrees Celsius, which was amazing for us when we landed, and it was -2 degrees Celsius. So we really wanted to make the most of it and go and check out Regent's Park as our first stop for day 2. Regent's Park is in the north of the main London area. It's such a big park that we only really got to see the southern end of it. We didn't get to go up to the zoo or anything in the north part of it. We got to go and walk around Queen Mary's garden and all the way around to the boating lake, and we saw a lot of birds and plants, and it was really beautiful walking around there. I'm one of those people that love seeing nature in all seasons, so I love seeing trees when they're full of life and full of leaves in spring, but then I also love seeing them in winter when they have no leaves on them and they're just the bare bones and they almost have a creepy look. I think that that's really beautiful, and sometimes I prefer when they're in winter and they don't have any leaves on them and you get to see all of the intricacies of the branches. You don't get to see that in spring because it's just full of leaves, but you get to see how many branches and how much work has gone into this beautiful, luscious tree that you only really get to see in winter, which I love. Seeing Regent's Park in winter, you see the potential of what it could look like in spring, and I really would love to see it in spring as it's supposed to be seen, with all of the flowers and all of the colours. I think it would be really beautiful. From Regent's Park we jumped on a bus to get to our next destination, but we never made it there because there was some kind of diversion happening on one of the bus routes that we were on, so we had to get off a few blocks away from where we were originally going to get off. But we didn't mind too much because we just got some lunch and we got to walk around some of the streets and just admire all the beautiful buildings in London. And then we came across a Selfridges. I've always wanted to go into a Selfridges because it was kind of the first department store that was laid out how department stores are laid out these days. And when we entered, it was just incredible. It was so beautiful in there and everything is laid out so perfectly. Each section just looks like its own individual section and decorated individually, and it's so well done and it was so beautiful. I was just blown away by how pretty this department store looked. After Selfridges, we made our way to Grosvenor Square, and I made sure that I looked up how to say that because I thought it was pronounced Grosvenor or Grosvenor or something Square, because it's spelt like it's supposed to be Grosvenor, but apparently it's pronounced Grosvenor Square. But Grosvenor Square has a bit of history surrounding it, like everything does in England, I'm finding out. Grosvenor Square was actually somewhere that Oscar Wilde lived for a while. They've got some memorials set up and they've got a 9/11 memorial and other historical figures. While we were there, the sun started to set as well, so it started to get dark, unfortunately, because it was about 4:30, 5 o'clock by this time. We had a few places on our list that we wanted to go after that, but we were so close to Mayfair, or I'm not sure if Grosvenor Square is actually in Mayfair itself, but that whole Marylebone Mayfair area is just stunning. Wow, the buildings around there. I mean, there's a reason why Mayfair is the most expensive place on the Monopoly board. Wow, that place was nice. Wow. How many times have I said wow so far? Too many? Wow. Walking around there, we just kept thinking how incredible it must be to come to London and be able to afford to stay in Mayfair or live in Mayfair. I mean, it would just make it such a different experience to stay somewhere that incredible and that opulent. It just, And then, after we got over the buildings of Mayfair, we stumbled upon Buckingham Palace. We weren't even really planning on going there. We just took a right turn at some point, and then bam, Buckingham Palace. That's one of my favorite things about exploring a new city, is just walking around and running into something that you didn't realize was there. I think we'd been walking adjacent to the mall, or the street leading up to Buckingham Palace, and then we basically just walked right up to the front of it without realizing. It was kind of dark by that point, but as we were approaching, I was like, I think this is Buckingham Palace, and it was. My favourite part of Buckingham Palace was the Victoria statue, which is the statue right outside of Buckingham Palace. It's made out of this beautiful white marble with this gold statue on top of it, and seeing it at night, it just sparkled. It was just so beautiful. I'm so glad that we stumbled upon Buckingham Palace and the Victoria statue at night, because I think it just made it so much more magical and so much more striking against the night sky. It was just lit up perfectly, and it was quite a sight to see. After that, we walked towards the closest bridge to cross the Thames and walked straight into the Big Ben Westminster Abbey area. And I didn't even know it was Westminster Abbey. We heard these bells chiming and I was like, what is that noise? Why is it so loud at this time of night? Where is that coming from? And then we saw Westminster Abbey, but I still didn't realize it was Westminster Abbey. It's beautiful, and the bells sounded so lovely. And Westminster Abbey was on my list of things to see, but I didn't realize I'd already seen it. Unfortunately for us, Big Ben is currently in all of this scaffolding that's surrounding it, and will be until 2021. Before we left Australia, we had some friends that had just visited London, and Big Ben was in the scaffolding then. And they said, oh, you'll probably be fine, you know, you're going in a couple months, it might be down by then. Nope, 2021. That's when the scaffolding's coming off. That's when it's finished. 2021. That's in 2 years. I don't know when they started it, but that's a long time to be in scaffolding. So if you're planning on visiting London and you want to see Big Ben before 2021, you might be out of luck. By this point of the night, my camera was starting to run out of battery and the SD card was getting full. So I unfortunately don't have that much footage of the rest of the night. But after we saw Big Ben, we started across the bridge over the Thames, and looking back and seeing the Houses of Parliament on the water with the reflection in the water at night, all lit up. It was just stunning. I highly recommend, if you're gonna go and see the Houses of Parliament, to see them at night. It just looks magical. After that, we made our way over to the London Eye, and it is massive. It is so big. When you're standing underneath it, you really get a sense of how enormous this thing is and how slowly it moves, and the size of the carriages that you're in when you're actually riding it. One full rotation in the London Eye is a 30-minute ride. We decided not to go on it when we were there because we were hungry and it takes 30 minutes. And if you buy tickets online, it's actually cheaper for a lot of places when you're traveling around London, or if you buy the London Pass, it's cheaper a lot of the time if you want to hit a few different tourist destinations. We didn't really mind missing out on it though, because we had plans to see London from up above another day, and that will be in another video. But thanks so much for watching, guys. And as I said in the last video, everything that I filmed in London was filmed on the Pocket Osmo. I think the footage turned out pretty good. It seems to handle itself pretty well. Sometimes when I'm filming with audio, the audio seems to drop out. So I don't know if I maybe need an update for the Osmo for that, or if that's got something to do with my SD card. And I definitely need to buy a bigger SD card because I've only got a medium-sized one at the moment. So it's not holding the amount of footage that I would like it to hold. But let me know what you think of the footage and the style of video, and if it's something that you'd like to see more of or not. But please like, comment and subscribe if you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!